Hello students, good morning. With all the happiness, wealthiness, healthiness, even prosperity to everyone. And entering the ocean of English grammar. Today the topic that we will be discussing is actually auxiliary verbs. Students, auxiliary, if we deal with the dictionary about the definition of this word, then we will come across that whatever that helps us in accomplishing something or in completing something, okay, that is known as the auxiliary. When we talk in English grammar about the verbs, then your verbs will be having two categories: the one that we call auxiliary verbs and another one that we call principal verbs. When we talk about the principal verbs, then whatever actions, okay, whatever occurrences and whatever state of being that is being done by the subjects or by the doer, that is known as the principal verbs. And beyond that, another aspect of verb that is known as auxiliary verbs, they are actually the helping verbs. The helping verbs that will decide either the tense and the time expression of your sentence or the mood of the subject. And with this basic definition, when we categorize the subclassifications of our auxiliary verbs, then we will be having two subclassifications. The one is primary auxiliaries and another one is modal auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries are the auxiliary verbs that decide or that set or that clarify the tenses and the time expressions of a sentence. And every time these primary auxiliary verbs, they will be having some specific and some significant modifications with the changing of nouns, pronouns, singulars and plurals. Another aspect that we call modal auxiliaries, they are a specific list and a specific set of words that will actually need a principal verb to define the things, and it will universally be used. That means it will not get changed with the changing of subject, numbers and persons. If we talk the definition with the examples, then we can understand that when we are supposed to say I am dancing, then specifically am will be used with I. If the plural will be there, they are dancing. Okay, if singular will be there, then she is dancing. But in modal auxiliaries, she can dance, I can dance, they can dance. Can will be omnipresent. Can will be universal with the changing of your numbers, nouns, pronouns and persons. That means modal auxiliaries are the verbs or the set of words that actually present the mood of your subject. And now moving with the picture that has been displayed on your screen, when we talk about the further definition of modal verbs or modal auxiliaries, then we can go with the lines. And the line says that modal verbs are a special kind of helping verb. A modal verb helps the main verb to express the mood of the subject, and at the same time it can indicate possibility, persuasions, abilities and then willingness, etc. Again, with another picture that is displayed, we may be having another definition with some similar aspects only. They are auxiliary verbs that provide additional and specific meaning to the main verb of the sentence. Modal verbs are sometimes referred to as modal auxiliary verbs because they help other verbs. Now moving with the first line, in that it is clearly indicated modal auxiliary verbs that provide additional and specific meaning to the main verbs of your sentences. Students, beyond the time, beyond the tense and beyond the tense expressions, we will be in the mood to say something to our listeners. We are required to express our views in such a way that those specific aspects of our language, of our communication, they will not be able to be indicated by primary auxiliaries or primary helping verbs. So to make the communication quite smoother and to enhance the skills of the communication, we will be in the need to use these specific modal auxiliaries so that our mood and the state of mood, it can be indicated clearly as well as it can be expressed, okay, with all the best expressions. And to be talking about the list of the modal auxiliaries, it is indicated even on the image: can, may, must, shall, will, ought to, need, have to, would. And in the previous image, can, will, may, must, could, would, might, should. So students, with the classifications of our auxiliary verbs, when we want to discuss and when we discussed the principal auxiliaries in our tenses, that time we were quite acquainted and comfortable with the usage of all those principal auxiliaries, and even we were informed with the basic rules and regulations that whenever we will be shifting from one tense to another tense, whenever we will be shifting from one person to another person, whenever we will be shifting from singular to plural or plural to singular, okay, there will be some specific and significant rules that are supposed to and required to follow strictly while using those principal auxiliaries. And now at this time, using these modal auxiliaries, we can be quite democratic. Democratic in the sense that within the territory of the nouns, pronouns, singular and plurals, there will be just one modal. Okay, if you are using can, then it doesn't mean that with he or she can be used, and with I or we, the can will be having its modification. No, can will entirely be used with every kind of noun, every kind of pronoun. The thing to use these modal auxiliaries that you are supposed to keep in your mind is only one, that every modal auxiliary keeps a specific criteria to be used. That means there will be a significant parameter of using a particular modal auxiliary, okay, and that parameter has to be understood by each and every student. So now moving with the picture and the status of the list of the modal auxiliaries, as the first that we are having can. Can is the modal auxiliary that will be used always in present sense. Whenever in your present sense you are supposed to indicate the ability, doubt, astonishment, permission and polite request. Okay, if we go with the examples, then ability, I can lift this box. I can lift this box. It means my present ability is being indicated. Doubt, can you lift this box? Can you lift this box? Okay, it seems as if out of doubt the question has been raised, but even then if we create this question, then it will indicate the doubt that lies in the present only. Okay, astonishment, surprise, oh wow, I cannot believe this, oh wow, I can believe this. Then permission, even the permission, okay, to give or to seek also. Can I come? Can I use this thing? Can I go there? Okay, you can use this thing. Now you can come inside. Now you can start your conversation. That means seeking permission or giving permission. Both situation can be indicated with the help of the modal auxiliary that we call can. And the time when all these circumstances are supposed to be indicated with the past flavor, there will be the modal auxiliary, the past of can, that we call could. Beyond these all past indications like ability, doubt, astonishment, permission, polite request, the significant aspect of could is also that could is used for extreme polite request. It means while talking to someone, if you want to enhance your politeness and decency in your request to an extent where it seems extreme politeness, it will always be indicated. Okay, other than other models, could can also be applied while creating polite request or extreme level polite request. Moving towards another modal auxiliary, there is may. May, as everyone knows, in most of the optative sentences we apply may. So may means the most beautiful aspect of may is that students, when you say can I come, actually it doesn't show the request with politeness. Okay, even it is not required to use can while asking or while seeking permission, because to create a decency and genuineness, okay, in your permission, you are supposed to use may. That's why whenever there will be any high-headed permission, if it is sought, then may is used. So for all the permission we will apply may. Then supposition. Supposition means our assumptions. Okay, if we are expecting something, okay, to be somewhere, that time we will apply may. Like, the sound is coming, maybe she is inside. Oh, there is some commotion, maybe a few people are outside. It means we are creating an expectations of someone or something to be somewhere. That time we will apply may. But the like can, may will also be used to indicate the present flavor. Okay, with doubt. That means if in present you create You create a sentence in that you feel there can be, okay, something is quite doubtful, like because if you say she can do this, it shows her capability or her capacity, okay, to accomplish the task. But if you say she may do this, it means there is not the assurity or not the assurance you are expecting. It is with full of doubt also. So such kind of sentences will be indicated with may. And if no prohibition, that means you may come inside, you may go there at this time, okay, you may be allowed to come inside, okay, means beyond the prohibitions you can apply your may modal auxiliaries. And if all those things are supposed to be indicated in the past, then we will be having might. That means the flavor of may that lies in present, if it is indicated in the past, then might will be applied. But there is one more significant difference that lies in may and might, is that may is used when there will be a probability, and the probability will be having some strongness within it. Like the clouds are outside, it may rain. The clouds are outside, it may rain. It means when the sky is outcast with clouds, then it can be rain, because the expectations okay, and the probability that it is having a strongness within itself. But if you say the clouds are not, the sky is clear, now this time if you say it may rain, it is wrong. Now this time you are supposed to apply it might rain. So it means may and might will be having a significant difference. That means when there is strong possibilities, there will be may. When there is weak possibilities, there will be might. And other than all these things, might is having one significant aspect also. If like could, you want to create a quite polite request, if you want to reach on the politeness on your request, that time you can apply might. Might I take your car? Might I come with you? Might I stay at your house? It means in your request there is a sense of extreme politeness. And when we talk about should, ought to, and then must, students, there are three modal auxiliaries that can be understood within one section only. These are should, ought to, and then must. Should is actually used when you are putting across your suggestions to someone, okay, whenever there will be the formal suggestions which are circulated, which are spoken, which are communicated at the time, some pieces of advice when they are given to someone, okay, and these pieces of advice are only the formal ones, okay, that time either you can use should or you can use ought to. Like you should respect your parents, okay, I ought to obey the rules of Indian government. In these two sentences, actually I am not putting any compulsion, I am not putting any boundedness, only the formal suggestions were given, okay, it depends upon me, either I follow or not. But in case if these suggestions they become a part of compulsion, a part of boundedness, okay, an essence of obligation, then there will be must that will be waiting to be used. You must put on your uniform. You must obey the rules and regulations, okay, circulated by Indian government. So should and must, there will be the basic difference. Should is for formal suggestions and must is for the compulsions. And you can replace should with ought to, okay, that will also convey your formal suggestions and formal pieces of advice. With all these, a quite significant part of should is one that you are supposed to understand very attentively. Students, there is a sentence that we call in Hindi when we are supposed to speak कि धीरे चलो कहीं ऐसा ना हो तुम गिर जाओ, जल्दी जाओ कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि तुम लेट हो जाओ. Okay, such kind of sentences and expressions when they are translated into English, they carry a specific pattern in English, and that specific pattern is created with the usage of lest, that means lest. Like walk carefully lest you should fall, go early lest you should get late. When in your sentences you create lest, the usage of lest, then strictly you are supposed to follow only one modal auxiliary, that will be should, should. It means with lest there will be should used always. Think about my advice, lest you should get cheated on. Start studying lest you should get failed. And to be talking about would, that is quite significant modal that is used mostly while we are wishing, okay, like to like, okay, would you like to come with me, would you like to have a cup of tea, Okay, would you like to get acquainted with the basic rules that we are having in our institute? That is, when we want someone to be acquainted with the things that we are having. That means when we are offering something to someone. And the same when we wish something, like if we are wishing something, like I would like to go to Europe, I would like to present this thing okay, to my father, to my mother, to my friend. Like to felicitate the prize, I would like to call upon the stage that particular ABC. And beyond this, there is one more clause that that would carries, that is a habit of the past. Students, whenever your past habits are indicated, you will be having two modal auxiliaries. It can be expressed through with the would, or else you can be having used to. Like when I was a child, I used to run fast. The sentence can be transformed or can be framed with using would also. Like when I was a child, I would run fast. Okay, when I was a child, I would study in that institute. So it means your past habits can be indicated either by used to or by would also. Would can also be used to create polite request. Would you please give me your shirt? Would you please give me your pen? Would you please let me stay at your home? That means your request with politeness can be indicated with would. And one more significant aspect of would is that it creates, it creates your choice in comparison of two things. Like if in Hindi you say कि मैं भीख मांगने की बजाय मरना पसंद करूँगा. Okay, such kind of sentences when they are framed with English language, they will be having would, because there are two things in that you are choosing one thing, okay, in comparison to the other. Like I would rather die than beg. So it means whenever there will be two things, and with rather there will be the comparison is made as should with lest. With rather there will be only one modal auxiliary, that is would. I would rather die than beg. I would rather study than sitting idle. And now students, when we talk about will and shall, we are quite comfortable that for the future reference and for the future expressions, we will be having principal auxiliaries in the form of will and shall. And I and will, okay, they carry shall, and with all the rest pronouns and nouns we carry will. But while using them as the modal auxiliaries, there will be the vice versa. The vice versa expressions and the vice versa nouns and pronouns. That means with I and we there will be will, and with rest all there will be shall. But what are the expressions that will be created while using I, we, or shall and will vice versa? The expressions are determination, promise, warnings, certainty. Okay, like when you create a threatening, when you create a warning, when you create a determination, okay, when you create a promise with someone, okay, that time will and shall will be having their vice versa use. Like for the future reference, if I say I shall go to Jaipur, but if I say this particular expression with strong determination, that means I will not say I shall go to Jaipur, I'll say I will go to Jaipur. Okay, if I am required to say if he is mistaken, he will be fired, for the future reference my sentence is grammatically okay. But if in this flavor there will be a strong determination, there will be a threat, there will be a warning, then instead of this I must say if he is mistaken, he shall be fired. Believe upon me, I made them understand. Now they shall do only what you want. This is the flavor of determination. Okay, so it means whenever there will be strong determination, there will be threatening, there will be warning, there will be promises. Okay, your will and shall will be used as the modal auxiliaries. That means vice versa from the future references. And when we talk about has to, have to, and will have to, and had to, okay, actually has to is used when your noun is singular. Have to is used when your noun is plural. Okay, if you want to create present boundedness, okay, if there is any compulsion that you are having with present, like I have to pack my luggage, okay, she has to apologize for her mistake, and if these flavors are indicated for the future, then there will be will have to. Okay, I will have to pack my luggage, or I shall have to pack my luggage. Okay, she will have to be apologized for her mistake. And if it goes into past, okay, past boundedness, then there will be had to. Okay, I made mistake, so I had to apologize. I was supposed to travel, so I had to pack my luggage. And now in the modal auxiliary list, we are having two marginal or semi-modals that we call need and dare. Students, these two modal auxiliaries are considered as marginal ones because they can be used as principal verbs also. It means the time when you will be applying them in your sentences as the principal verbs, they can be used. Like, she doesn't need your help, I don't need to go there. But these all indications that are based upon need as the principal verb, that means to require something. If you say she doesn't need your advice, then that means she doesn't require your advice. But if this need is invented or used as modal auxiliary, okay, there will be no to. There will be no to. Sole need will be used. Like in the sentence, it is indicated क्या अब तुम्हें जाने की ज़रूरत है, means do you think you are supposed to go over there. This sentence can be transformed with a precise way after using need as the modal auxiliary, and the framing will be need you go now. But if you create need as your principal verb, okay, in the second sentence it is indicated do you need to go now. Okay, this time your need is not working as the modal auxiliary. Now this time it is working as the main verb or as the principal verb, because your auxiliary verb is do over here. That means need as the modal auxiliary will be used without the usage of to. There will be sole need. Need you go now? Needn't you go now? And the same happens with dare also. That means if dare is used as the main verb or as the principal auxiliary, it will be having to with it. Like, do you dare to say him the truth? क्या तुम में सच कहने की हिम्मत है? And if it is used as the modal auxiliary, that means dare you say him the truth. Now this time we are not supposed to apply to with dare. Now this time dare is turned into the modal auxiliary pattern. And now students, in case your modal auxiliaries, okay, the sentences that they will be creating, if those sentences are spoken into passive voice, you are supposed to apply be with all the modal auxiliaries that you are going to apply. That means if there is I can do this task can be done by me. I could speak English could be spoken by me. And if this state is changed into perfect modal verbs, then there will be would have, could have, may have, might have, should have, must have, shouldn't have, needn't have, ought to have. That means for the perfect modal verbs there will be have, and for the passive modal verbs there will be be.